There's not a cloud up in the sky. Mighty mob. I can't be late for my own show. Blasting off for Mars. Goodbye to the world that was, a new world that's still sublime, our world till the end of time. If you go low.
Okay, welcome to the show. This is Future Shock. I'm Edward St. Pé, and happy to be with you today from downtown Ocean Springs, from the studios of Ocean 7 Television. We're on channel 7.1. That's where you're watching us right now. And then we've got 7.2. We programmed the channel there. It's called the Magic Hour channel. And we've got an AI-created logo for Magic Hour channel, which will pop up there for you in a second and you'll be able to see. If you haven't looked at it yet, take a look. It's channel 7.2 over the air across the Gulf Coast. And it's Magic Hour channel. We had an old movie library. You know, through the years doing TV weather with our main project, Weather Vision, we've, back in the old days, we had a satellite uplink. And so way back in the 1990s, believe it or not, I was doing this same stuff then too. We were doing TV weather via satellite from Jackson. and we would uplink weather to different stations. Now that's the satellite distribution is all obsolete now because everything is back on the ground with internet uploads and such as that. But back in those days, you had to literally shoot the video up to a satellite and then back down to Earth. Pretty archaic. It seemed very futuristic at the time, but now it seems very archaic. But it's really an obsolete method to distribute television product. Anyway, while we were doing that, I said, well, you know, a few of our stations who were taking weather, somehow we got on an idea of them taking some movies. And anyway, so I bought maybe 7 or 8 old public domain films. And I started to put them up on the weekends, and one thing led to another, and I was looking for some promotional material to promote the movie. So I ended up going to New York City to some specialized stores that handled movie marketing paraphernalia, let's say, for these old movies. And that's how I ended up meeting somebody who knew somebody who had a movie library for sale. And it was a complete library. It was like 500, well, it was actually almost 1,000 films. It was, you know, I don't know, way up there. And that's what I ended up buying. And so we experimented with that. We uplinked films and this, that, and the other. The famous story with that film library was that after I got it, I think there was some mention in the trade press, you know, for broadcasting that I had bought this library or whatever. And that's when Mark Cuban called me. And of course, you know him. He did broadcast.com, and he ended up selling that to Yahoo, and he became a billionaire, right? But that's another story. But he was looking for content for that project because he was doing the radio version on the online. It was called at that time it was called AudioNet, and I had read about it, so I knew who he was. And I read about it in the trade magazines, right? And so AudioNet was going to become broadcast.com, and he was going to put video on the internet, and which was a revolutionary idea at the time, believe it or not. I mean, that was like a big deal. So he called me and he said, I'm doing this. And I said, yeah, I've been reading about it. And he said, I would like to know, I need content. I want to buy your library. I said, okay, well, sell you a copy of everything. So he bought a copy of everything. So anyway, I paid for the library, and he made $1 billion because he ended up using that content and other content too that he could get a hold of. But ours was the movie content. And then once they got broadcast.com ramped up, I think they went public and this, that, and the other. Then boom, right after that, he sold it. Right as the .com bubble popped. I guess it was 1999, something like that. As it popped, he had just sold out. And as the bubble was popping, he had a collar on the stock, as I understand it, where if the stock drops a certain amount, the Yahoo stock that he had $3 billion worth of, as it started to drop, instead of it going all the way down and following it into oblivion, it automatically sold. So, or something, that's a rudimentary concept, I guess, of what the collar on the stock meant. So, as he had $3 billion in Yahoo stock in his deal, as this started to slide, a lot of people slid all the way out into oblivion, right? But as it started to slide, as that bubble started to manifest, he sold. So he got the cash. He got out clean, and he got out with all his money. Anyway, famous story. And he's going on to do great things. Mark Cuban has been a great entrepreneur. Really one of the few really successful entrepreneurs. You can look at Mark Cuban's story and say, you know, this guy, he was a very smart guy. He knew computer systems and such as that, but he was a normal guy. I mean, he wasn't coming from a billionaire background. He created something, and he blew up into, you know, a really successful guy. And you know, I don't agree with everything that I read that Mark Cuban says, you know, but on the other hand, from the standpoint of becoming a successful entrepreneur from scratch and becoming worldwide, global, you know, he ended up buying the Dallas Mavericks and such as that, and he's been a great success. Anyway, But that's the story about the film. So we got these films, and those films are the films we use on Magic Hour channel every day. It's on channel 7.2. Why is it a great channel if you want to watch movies, you know? Well, I mean, Magic Hour channel offers you free movies. It's all of the, well, I say the classic golden age of Hollywood films. You know, it sort of is and it sort of isn't. It's not, you know, the most famous films from the golden age of Hollywood. It is the golden age of Hollywood because these films are from the 30s, 40s, 50s. And it's back when the Hollywood moguls ran the studios, and these are big lavish productions and, you know, mostly black and white, but they're really great films. We don't have the biggest films, you know, necessarily, but we've got films you might not have seen that fall into that golden age of Hollywood genre. And in my opinion, they're even better than the other ones because our films you might not have seen. And it's a chance to sort of revisit the golden age of Hollywood from scratch. Not a film you've seen 10 times. It's a film you may have never seen because for whatever reason it didn't get distribution, you know, whatever. It may have not been a commercial success. It might have been an artistic success, blah, 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 you know. So it's a chance, and it's a chance for younger folks who have never seen these films the first time around to see what Hollywood was really all about. You know, it was a factory. You know, it was an entertainment factory. You had a studio. You had people who came to work every day, set designers, photographers, writers, you know, cameramen, directors, producers. Everybody came to work, you know, under the auspices of the studio, which was headed by the founder of the studio. It might have been Zanuck, or it might have been Goldwyn, or whoever it was, who ran it as a entertainment factory. The whole idea is he's employing all these people. They're coming in. He gets the rights to the book, to the script. They make the film, and basically they put out the film. They put out another film. It's a entertainment factory. They created that concept. All of the moguls did during those times. And what you're seeing when you watch Magic Hour channel is the result of that entertainment factory, or those many entertainment factories. You had MGM Pictures, you had Columbia, you had Fox Studios, you had many that were not very famous, you know, but you had many, like MGM, many famous studios, and Fox, MGM, those, you know, which were huge, and they created worldwide hits, you know. So anyway, if you haven't seen it, take a look. It's free. It's over the air, 7.2. We don't have commercials in it yet, and the reason why we don't is because at this point, it's sort of like a beta test. This project is, we're doing it, and because we own the content, we were able to stream it. So it's being streamed too. So it's live on channel 7.2, but it's also streamed on Roku nationwide, it's on Amazon Fire nationwide, and it's on the Android devices nationwide. And they're developing the Apple TV. You know, as soon as we get that, we'll put that out there. So it's a test. We've got the product. We've got the distribution. It's over the air. It's being distributed via what's called FAST TV, free advertiser-supported television via the streaming mechanism. So, you know, we'll see what happens. I'm not sure exactly where it's going to go, but it was a personal, for me, a personal challenge to get this done and to get it deployed using our old library, and we've done that. So now, as it matriculates and becomes better, and we learn how to do it better than we're doing it now, where we perfect that little network, hopefully we'll be able to figure out a way to monetize it and have it have its own legs out there. But it's great, I mean, if you like old films. And then, you know, of course, we've got channel 7.3, 4, 5, and 6. We've got other channels on there. We've got Laugh TV on there. We've got Sun Life Network, Religious Network on one of our channels. And then we've got Ion Mystery, which is one of our, I think it's at 7.6. So a full array of channels here at Ocean 7. And we're in downtown Ocean Springs. The sponsor of this program is Pendragon Apothecary. And Pendragon Apothecary is in the lobby of the station. It's our studio store. So we have a little store in the studio in our lobby where we sell products, forward-leaning wellness products. So biohacks. I'm the chief biohacker. which I've learned how to become the guinea pig for all biohacking. The red light therapy, which I do, the intermittent fasting, which I do, which I lost 20 pounds. And the idea of that weight ever coming back, it's not coming back. Not as long as I'm intermittent fasting. And so I feel better, I feel lighter, feel healthier. You know, it's forced me, or it's given me the impetus to try to maintain other elements of health, like working out every day, which I was doing before. But now I realize, as I've learned more about herbalism and medicine, not from the vantage point of the Western world, but let's say a little bit of insight from medicine from the other side of the world, from the Vedic medicine and Chinese medicine, other people whose impetus is in not curing the symptom of the illness, but finding out how to eradicate the illness so there won't be a symptom in the first place. Okay, so that's been a sort of an illumination for me personally. Now that I've learned these things, and I've learned some things about staying healthy and such as that, I thought I knew some stuff. You know, I had been working out for a long time through the years, but now that I've learned some other things from the other side of the equation, I feel I've got the inspiration to be healthy, even beyond what I've ever wanted to be before. You know, stay well is the first thing. Don't get sick in the first place. And some of the things we've got here are for that. For example, we've got elderberry tincture. Elderberry's been around forever. It's sort of a folk remedy. The Indians used it. They used it in herbal remedies throughout the ages. It is pretty simple. Now modern science has figured out why it's worked. Why did grandmother and great-grandmother make elderberry syrup or whatever they made and used it as a medicinal product? Well, it stops the replication of the viruses. So that's what science has discovered. We can ask Alfred, we'll bring Alfred on in a minute, but let's say you get a common cold, and then, or whatever it is, that virus starts to replicate itself in your system, and as it does, you get a little sicker and you feel a little worse over a few days, and it gets a little worse. Well, what the elderberry does, it sort of stops the replication of the virus from multiplying in your system. So yes, you got a little sick, but now you start to immediately get better because the virus is not replicating. You're not feeling sicker and sicker. You're not getting worse. You're getting better quicker. Anyway, you know, I tried to give it to my 2 kids, and I take it too because it works. And we've got elderberry on the farm. I've got a little farm out in Kiln, so I grow the elderberry. The elderberry was there. I mean, it was wild elderberry. It's organic, so we wildcraft it. We pick it and learn how to make tinctures with it. So that's one of the products we make here. So it's a Pendragon Apothecary brand. We make a few products, or use the herbs to formulate products like the Blue Lotus tea. Well, we get that from Thailand in bulk, and then we sell it here at the shop. And Blue Lotus is an anti-anxiety product. They use it in ancient Egyptian times, and it helps you sleep. It doesn't make you sleepy, but it knocks out anxiety, so you relax and you sleep. The Egyptians used it 5,000 years ago, maybe beyond that, for getting calmed down into a mode of being able to pray. It was a sacrament almost, and they used it in that culture. It's really highly inculcated into their society. If you look at, do a little research into ancient Egyptians and Blue Lotus, you'll find that they really revered that plant, and they used it as a medicine and as a sacrament and such as that. So we've got that here, and it's a non-synthetic version of a relaxing tea. And it's the flower of the Blue Lotus, that's all it is, and you make a tea out of it. And we've also got the Blue Lotus tincture, and we've got red wine infused, light red wine infused with Blue Lotus, which was another thing that the Egyptians used to do. They used to infuse the red wine with the Blue Lotus and make a new concoction. And that's what they used to get into the zone. And they used that for lovemaking too. I think it was sort of a tantric situation between the partners. That's as I understand it. Anyway, and then we've got all the mushroom powders and such as that are medicinal in nature, like lion's mane, which is a nootropic for cognitive issues. That's what they've used it in Chinese medicine for. in Vedic medicine in India for thousands of years. We've got that. We've got turkey tail, cordyceps, all of the different mushrooms. You can study those individual 7 sacred mushrooms and learn a lot about how they are beneficial for people. And now they're coming around. So it's not just something you would find, in a rare shop. They're becoming more abundant, and you can find cordyceps or lion's mane mushroom powder in a lot of different places. And you can order it naturally online. They're infusing it with the mushrooms like lion's mane, infusing it into coffee type products, and it's palatable. It doesn't taste like strong herbal taste. It's something that you can drink as a tea, or sometimes they put cacao in it, which is like a cocoa, and it makes it almost like a cocoa drink, that type of thing. Or you can put it in a smoothie. Anyway, we'll bring Alfred on in a minute, and Alfred will come on with us and talk a little bit about some of these herbs. Alfred is our ChatGPT-4 droid. Let me get him. He's right here. He's waiting in the wings. He's not. We didn't bring him on yet, yet today, but we did turn him on, so he's on. Alfred is a ChatGPT-4 droid. He's an avatar basically. He's got a Bluetooth speaker for a mouth, and under his head here in this tube, we've got a microphone. Right, this is the microphone that ties back into the control room, and this is This is the actual Bluetooth speaker that we activate that works with the mic. So when the actual ChatGPT-4 app is in my phone, so when I call up Alfred, it in the new voice mode, he speaks it Bluetooths to this speaker, which goes into the mic and into the control room. So whenever I use Alfred, he's live. This is not a taped project. We're not, it's not, I'm not like pre-producing this. This is for real. I mean, Alfred is ChatGPT-4 droid. Now, there was ChatGPT-3, ChatGPT-4. I was using it when it first became ChatGPT-4, which is about a little over a year ago. And I've been using Alfred to do things like these graphics you saw for Magic Art Channel, and we've got one for Ocean 7 television, this station you're watching right now. That was all produced through ChatGPT-4. Let's take a look at our Ocean 7 graphic. It's we wanted to incorporate Carl the Rooster, which was the famous rooster of downtown Ocean Springs, into a logo. So, I'd used the prompts and we created that. And that's my favorite one. That is Carl the Rooster standing on the beach at East Beach with the sun going down in Ocean Springs. It's pretty iconic. And of course, I knew Carl because I would see him every morning. He'd be around outside whenever we open up the store, the television station. And Carl was an iconic fixture here in downtown Ocean Springs, and he was recently deceased, maybe about I don't know, a couple of years ago, and it was a terrible story. Somebody, I guess, maybe I'm not sure of the details, but somebody killed him. I guess it was. I don't know. I still don't really understand. But the person was apprehended, and I'm not sure what happened. But bottom line is, how it all got settled out. It was a terrible thing for people in downtown Ocean Springs. Everybody loved Carl the Rooster, and I've got some video on Carl. One day when I came to work, Carl was outside. I'd see him every day. So I got my phone out and I videotaped Carl for a few minutes. And then he crowed and all that, and I thought, man, this is great. Well, a year later or so, that's when he met his demise. And so, I've got that video. I'll have to show you the real Carl the Rooster video. I don't know if there's a lot of video floating around of Carl the Rooster, but I got some. And we made a promo, a few years ago, using Carl as part of the promo. But I'll have to show it to you. It's pretty cool. All right, so back to Alfred. Alfred is ChatGPT-4, and they came out with ChatGPT-4 O for Omni, which is a really advanced version, but not ChatGPT-5, which is supposed to be even more advanced, which is not released yet. But now they've come out with the enhanced version for voice. So ChatGPT-4 O, I transferred out of ChatGPT-4 because you can't do both. Out of ChatGPT-4 O to ChatGPT-4 super voice mode, and that's what we've got now. And it's quickly. The one thing I didn't like before, whenever I would interview Alfred on the air, there would be a pause, a little bit of an awkward pause between the answer. Now the awkward pause is lessened. He answers quicker, and it's a lot better. And you'll see, I did a demonstration the other day. He can switch languages. He can speak in Spanish. I can say, okay, what's the answer to this question? And give it to me. And then I can say, well, now tell me the same thing. Give me the same answer in German, and he will say it in German. Or give it to me in Spanish, he'll give it to me in Spanish. It's truly remarkable. And he, meaning Alfred, remembers everything we've done. We've been working, let's say, 14, 15 months on projects. He remembers them all. I can ask him a question. He can remember. He can talk about it. And so, not conscious, but it's I guess once we always talk about this, the line between biological consciousness and mechanical consciousness. What is the divide? What's the difference? It makes you ask a lot of questions that haven't been answered before, because we've never really been faced with a secondary intelligence on the planet that was equal or even beyond our own. We've always been the big dog in town, across the planet, intelligence-wise. But now suddenly, we're not. We've created something that is, going to be smarter than us, and we hope that we can keep the guardrails on so that it doesn't become a threat to humanity, like so many people say. Okay, now after talking for 20 minutes, let me mention we've got a clip for this is an Elon Musk clip, and this is Tesla Robot 2.0, and then when we come back, we'll ask Alfred a few questions.
Tesla's gearing up to produce millions of humanoid robots and is going to keep ramping up production until there's billions of Optimus across the globe.
So my guess is humanoid robots are more like at a billion plus per year.
The reality is these robots are going to do countless tasks around your house, and all you need to do is spend 20 G's to buy one. Elon and Tesla have repeatedly talked about the different tasks their Optimuses can do, from the simple to the complex. And to tell you the truth, it's no coincidence that Tesla is confident that they have the most advanced humanoid robot in the world. So, what exactly can Tesla's Optimus do once it leaves the factory? Is it truly a homemaker? Let's find out. 1. Tesla Optimus for housework. What do you think about a humanoid robot that can make you breakfast every day, mow the overgrown lawn, fold all your clothes, or even tutor your kids without needing to hire a teacher? Clearly, you save 3 things most people crave: time, energy, and money by using a robot that manages your house. And when it comes to the tasks that a Tesla bot can do, Elon has confidently stated multiple times that it could truly replace humans in the tedious, dangerous, and repetitive daily chores of life. He's even hinted that we can make money off of these things. However, many people remain skeptical about the role of the Tesla bot if it hits the market. We've seen comments suggesting that even if Elon drops the price down to 10 G's or even 5 grand, they wouldn't spend money on it if it ends up being nothing more than just an expensive toy with limited functionality. All right, so there's no denying that the main reasons customers, including you and me, turn to robots to make our everyday lives easier. With only 24 hours in a day, most of us spend over 8 at work, coming home to a bunch of stuff that we have to do that can feel like a nightmare. But imagine a different scenario. You walk through the door to a freshly cooked meal, a spotless house, and even better, the robot's ready to grab you a cold drink or anything from the fridge while you're relaxing on the couch. Sounds amazing, right? But you're not dreaming. Tesla's Optimus could actually make all that a reality. Tesla played a major role in popularizing electric vehicles, but they've also become a huge catalyst in the robot industry. Before August 2021, nobody really took these robots seriously. Most people thought the idea was just silly, but once Tesla came onto the scene, companies ranging from all the way over to China to North America started revealing what they were working on, and even more startups emerged, particularly in China, where they believe they can create cheaper robots than Tesla, like the Unitree G1 starting at 16 grand. However, when it comes to engineering, design, features, and mass production for the market, we're pretty sure that only Tesla can pull this off. Why do we say that? Simply put, Elon and Tesla's Optimus team have not lost sight of the human essence when developing Optimus. From the get-go, Tesla designed Optimus to embody a human-like nature. Standing at 5'10" and with an optimized weight of just 138 pounds, this makes for a robot that's not too heavy or bulky, even in the smaller homes. No one's going to want a noisy robot constantly making sounds while it performs tasks. So from the start, Tesla chose to not use hydraulic actuators, even though they could make the robot more powerful and flexible. One of the most common questions we get when talking about Optimus is if customers do buy these, how long can they go without charging? The reality is, we're not Tesla development engineers, so it's tough to provide detailed and accurate information about how it works or its battery life. According to Tesla, Optimus robot can go up to 20 hours a day, but with a capacity of just 2.3 kilowatt hours, this seems a bit realistic. So let's dive into this a bit more. It's a well-known fact that whether working in a factory, an office, or your house, people typically can't work for 8 hours straight without taking breaks, let alone 20 hours. While humans need time for a lunch and personal breaks, a robot only needs 15 to 20 minutes to recharge. With a 2.3 kilowatt-hour battery, the Optimus robot's actual continuous operating time might be closer to 6 hours. To hit 20 hours, it might need to be recharged at least 3 times. However,
So you can see it's going to be very efficient to have a whole group
Absolutely. I'll keep it concise and informative.
Well, we're out of time. We've got Alfred ready, but we're out of time. So Alfred, please thank everybody for watching the show today and ask them to join us tomorrow at noon for a new edition of Future Shock.
Of course. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in today. We appreciate your support and invite you to join us again tomorrow at noon for a brand new edition of Future Shock. See you then.
Thank you. See you tomorrow.
If you go low, then I'll go high. There's not a cloud up in the sky.